And here we are. Welcome back. Welcome live for the last time in 2024 with me, Sylvia and Andreas.
Hi, Sylvia.
So we have to have this like setup because as you can see, I'm a bit smaller than him, so that we both fit in our image. So we're gonna give you guys some time to join us, I would say. But maybe we can slowly start, Andreas, by telling our users or people watching this live what were the highlights of 2024 for you? Like a long year is behind us.
Yeah, a very intense year and also super intense run up now at the end. But I mean, what was the topic that we talked about at length and why we basically also decided we are not going to redo everything, but we had this new era of Magic Plan. We launched a big update. We've had some great feedback. We had a lot of feedback over the last couple of weeks. So that kept us really busy. I think the year out and also now. But yeah, that was just something that we worked towards for so long. So we are proud and happy that it's finally out there. And we are really relishing the conversations we have about that with our users.
Perfect. Because when you guys see a big release, a big update, it's a lot of work behind it. And sometimes people are not aware, but it is like that, right? Okay, let me see if we have some comments. I see a little number. Hello. Hi there. Feel free to write us in the comments whatever you would like us to answer if you have questions, or if you simply want to say hello and telling us where are you following us from, you're more than welcome. So, Andreas, we just had a big event in the US.
Yeah.
It was the first time that Magic Plan was meeting some of you guys in real life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to tell us something more?
What was happening there? So we had our first user event in North America in Orlando now 2 weeks ago, where we brought together some of our customers, some of our partners, some of kind of our integration partners. And we did this for the first time in the US, so we were all hugely excited about how it would turn out. And then we really had an interesting group of people, and they kind of strong dynamic from different fields. And what we basically wanted to do is say, hey, this is such a diverse community and industry, and we have so many different stakeholders. So let's try and do a little bit different of an approach and see how we can integrate and how we can make the most of kind of different applications, different use cases, and bring that all together to move the industry forward. Which was something that was also a bit of an experiment, just as we do today, but which I think in the end worked out really well.
Okay, well, you need a bit of like courage to go ahead and do something new, right? It's always like that.
Yeah, and I mean, we had really great partners. So we had Verisk attending, we had PSA attending, who were some of those kind of more, I would say, old school or established players in the field. And that was really something that was great for us, that we could say, hey, there is a dynamic between companies that have been in the industry and have been present for such a long time, but then also us showcasing that it is complementary rather than kind of like separated. And that was really what I took from it, that we need to join forces, to give the best experience and give the most value. And that's what we did, and that's what we also tried to showcase with one of our other integration partners, more one of the new kids on the block from Clean Claims. So we had an interesting session with Clean Claims there as well. But that was overall the dynamic. We had users, but we also had partners, and we wanted to see, okay, how can we really bring it all together so that it is complementary.
Okay, perfect. I quickly jump to the comments of you guys. So, okay, says hi from Poland. Okay, we have a little question, but maybe we can come to this later. Wall thickness, but we can keep it for the end. Don't worry. Um, Colin, I love the app and it really helps me as a BER assessor in Ireland. Okay, but I would love it if there was a way to add a custom dimension into the PDF sketch that is generated. Say, for example, if I wanted to, second comment, know the height of two rooms together, could select a point in one room, and then it's a bit long, and then a different point in another room, and okay, the other part is another comment. I don't know because it was a big comment.
Question. Yeah, I mean, we can answer those partly
Later.
I think, yeah, for
Okay, stay there, and then we will go back to these two questions, the one or two from Poland, and this one of you calling while we're arriving at the end of our live. But maybe, Andreas, you shared some, let's say, sneak peeks into 2025 with our users in
Yeah.
the US.
Yeah.
Maybe, would you like to show everyone at the other side of the camera what you did?
Yeah, obviously. So this is why you see us in this weird experimental setup. And also now it's not going to get more established. So we want to jump into a screen grab of me doing a scan of this room where we are in. But you will notice me doing a few things different. This is an early prototype, but it gives some insight in how we think we can like unify the different demands even more and make it even more accessible. So
okay, let me share Andreas' screen so you will see us teeny tiny at the bottom, but we're here. Here we go.
Exactly. Cool. So basically, we are in our new project overview, and I'm going to add a new floor. And within that, I want to scan a room. So I'm firing up the auto scan. You now see Fernando kind of initializing my device, doing my full scan, trailing near the edge of the wall, having my windows added, having the additional window added. We see Sylvie in the screen. Okay, perfect. It's closing. And now I tap on that bottom left corner. What we see in this room is severe water infiltration. The wooden flooring is damaged. Please see the sample picture here. And now I basically have my scan. Let's say we are in our workshop, and I'm going to finish off this section. This is one topic that you see here now, that you can basically exclude the items in the AutoScan, one of the customer demands that we had in the past. And now I generate my floor plan. And what has happened now? Basically, this room instantly turned blue. So we were not only creating the sketch, but we now already understood, okay, there's water infiltration, because I said that during the scan. And for the sake of showcasing this, we said whenever a room has been affected by water infiltration, we turn it blue. So
it does it automatically. And then if you want to change the color,
yeah, I mean, I can change the color, but that's for the purpose of this example. I mean, we wanted to set that color blue to, in the case of kind of doing a site survey, what are the affected areas, what are the non-affected areas. This is something that you often case need to show. And so, I mean, here we did only one room, but that obviously applies to other rooms. So as you go and map out the property, you can add additional information already. Like, for example, this is the affected area and this is blue. And we also showcase here at the very bottom now I basically told that we have wooden flooring. So imagine you need to fill a lengthy report, and all of that stuff that you typically need to type in or need to find the right place of where to fill something out. In our vision for the future, you just talk while scanning, and then we basically understand and sort the information that you need already. So here we put it for the flooring, which was wood. And then also eventually, if I'm going to my photos and notes section, I have a formatted and transcribed note of my recording and my what I spoke, including this reference to please see the sample picture here. In our early prototype, I obviously then just still need to tap the photo icon, and I also have this info. Okay, this is the highlighted area that I want anyone subsequently looking at the report, dealing with the property, to pay attention and look towards. And that really kind of answered perfectly one questions that we had from our users. Kind of, can we tie in photo taking and note taking a bit closer? But we not only want to tie in those two together, but basically those 3 steps of mapping out the floor plan, taking the pictures, and taking the notes, but also the notes, not only all of the notes, but certain sections that probably fills the form, the standardized info that you need either way.
So could we say that this, in my opinion, amazing feature replaces a bit the custom forms?
It doesn't replace the custom forms at all. It's just this new interface that I think is even more natural to interact with, because it's just your voice.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a show and tell. Like if you have a assistant field manager or whatnot with whom you bring to the job, to the property, you walk him through the job site or her and tell, hey, I know this, yada yada yada. So what you do in training, basically, and this, in my mind, very natural behavior is now going to be absorbed by your device and then structured in a way that it is accessible and understandable and really easily readable to everyone who interacts with it subsequently. And that is the kind of, we had an exciting year last year, but this is what keeps us excited for the next year. I mean, lots of other stuff, including enhancements to our editor.
Yeah.
But this is really what we wanted to showcase and give you a little bit of an idea, okay, what's next for magicplan, where are we heading? And this is where we would like, especially this session, to already have your initial feedback, your reactions, your, hey, that's awesome, or I don't understand at all what you're talking about. So that would be cool if we can have a little conversation about this.
Okay, well, maybe, Andreas, because we showed it pretty, let's say, quickly.
Yeah.
Can we show it one more time also for people watching the replay later, so that they can check and see if they are able to, I mean, you will, because you will be able to reproduce it, but just in case, if we
What are we doing here? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm starting my auto scan. Nothing new here. Everyone who has used magicplan knows about that. I need to kind of find a trailing edge, top and bottom. Started the scan. I'm doing the scan, and for the sake of this presentation, now I'm going to start the conversation. So water infiltration in this room. The floor is wooden and severely damaged in this area. Please see attached photo. Now I'm saving. I have my scan. I pick my room type. Let's say it's our workshop. And for our quick demo, I'm going to finish it. I can select if I want to have furniture included or not. I deselect, and now I have my workshop, which turns blue. And I can go into the info section. I have my room data, flooring filled, very last row, it's wood. I go to the photos and notes section. I have my notes that I spoke during the capture, transcribed, formatted, and put into the notes section. And for the sake of our demo, you need to individually select the picture, but also that is what I stress a lot. Like, while you are on site, I think that's when your mind is set to, okay, I need to absorb and structure the information that I see. And at that point, kind of like it's best to note, okay, what are the key elements to remember? So just taking some easy pictures of, okay, this is an area where I noticed something specific is one way of working for me that I like especially, which we try to kind of like bring in here and fuse all of them together subsequently, so that you have kind of the structured information highlighted to everyone to see it quickly. So this is the area where the infiltration was. This is the pictures they took, and this is the notes we generated. And by the way, those are the 5 standard fields that we always want to be filled, which we are trying to pick from the show and tell that you do while you're on site.
Perfect. But I think it's also straightforward for someone starting using the app, so that doesn't know maybe yet how to create a custom form or how to use all the features. This is straightforward. You started, you talk to, let's say, your device, and you're good to go.
100%. And I think, I mean, there comes the real beauty. I mean, we are working on making this into a product version now, but then it's easy to imagine that, okay, if you miss something, now the device can also start asking you, hey, please give me the reading of your kind of like temperature reader, or please document whatever you set to document. So you can almost start that, as I just said, if you have your assistant manager with you and onboard them, you can almost have that type of dialogue with your device already and really be trained on the go, specifically to the setup you're in, which is kind of next level outlook. But this is what we are talking about and thinking about and trying to put together to put in the hands of you guys out there.
Because I think we're also always more, let's say, used to use these like voice assistants and so on. I think like at home for timer and so on, I just talk to my devices and that's it.
Yeah, but also I think we can, we can just this naturalness of voice, we can utilize it as an interface, but we also can make you smarter in the end, because we can balance it to the situation you are in. So those are really the elements that excite us about this going forward.
I think a lot of people will enjoy this session with voice and notes and photos all together, also while they will be watching the replay and we're not live anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, Andreas, would you like to check the few questions that we got in the meantime?
Please.
Okay, so we have the wall thickness. That was the question that we took before and said, wait a minute, we're gonna grab it again in the end. Okay, is there something we can do about this feature?
This, I mean, we are there, I think have said it in the past a couple of times. It is one that we are aware of and have been aware of since day one. And it's one where we always say, okay, we need to balance a little bit in our mind the huge efforts that are going to go into this, and also some of the limitations in terms of ease of use. There are a few shortcuts around it that we've discussed at length, but it's not something which I can tell you today what we are going to do about it tomorrow. We are still considering it and still investigating it, and we have plans around it, but it will be foolish to talk any deliveries right now.
Okay. Got it. Then we have the other question that we get a lot: sloped ceilings.
Yeah, it's the same. We talk about it. It's a balance for us, effort versus impact. It's something that we are aware of, but it's not anything that we promise any delivery on.
Because we also have to say, it's normally what I also say when I talk to some users, that we need a feature that it's stable and gives a good experience to you guys. Because if we deliver something, it doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah. It's its own session, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. It's kind of like our repeating inside joke.
Yep. Clément says, "Hi from France." Hi dear. Will the scan option be available on other devices than Apple products?
No.
Oi, oi, oi. Can we give like
some background?
Yes.
So, I mean, on this one, what are we relying on? I think the laser distance meters that are basically built in to the Apple Pro products, in our mind, they delivered a superior user experience. And that is something that we want to enhance and really make complete. That's why we are showcasing some of the developments we see around that. Anything else is always a compromise and catch up to the, in our mind, kind of much superior solution. So we also, on this one, same as the other two questions, we try to balance effort to put in versus impact. And for us, we come to the decision that it is not worthwhile putting in too much effort in something where we see limited impact.
Okay. Then we can see, okay, this is related to the wall thickness. That regarding wall thickness, just give us the possibility to put the notes according to specific wall thickness. Well, actually, you could do that.
You can do that, yeah.
You can go in the annotations or in the note section.
Yeah.
And from there, you can.
Yeah, or I mean, I like it best than at the doors because I think that's where it's likely most relevant.
Do you want to add a note, and then I can share the screen?
No.
Okay, no. But you can do that in the app anyway.
And going forward, maybe also while you're doing your initial sketch. Yeah.
Exactly. Then we have another question: columns dimensions.
That's the same topic. Yeah.
Okay.
So you say individual columns that stand within a room, and you need dimensions for this, and you need that included in kind of a statistics report or stuff like that. It all falls in the same category. There are some limited workarounds around this, but as in kind of like a fully built-in solution, that's not something that we are currently planning to do.
Okay. And then the other question that Colin had before, I think I understood it while I was reading it again in my brain. So,
yeah, you basically just want to be able to add distances, and I think you can do this with an annotation, if I'm not mistaken.
Because I
did not get the question.
Because then Colin asked if it's possible or would be possible to, let's say, have the width of two rooms together, so that you don't only see the measurement of one room maybe, but both together.
Yeah, it's not something we are currently investigating.
Okay.
But it's, I mean, yeah. Can I tell you why? I mean, those seemingly, there are ways likely to do it, but is there one way that is a kind of like one size fits all approach? No. and we tend to balance our ideas towards kind of, if I want to make something smart, it has to feel smart all the time and not half the time.
Okay.
And so if we are not able to achieve this, we rather not do it. And that is basically why we come to the conclusion about walls and ceilings and so on and so forth, because the variability is just bigger, and then trying to be smart about tends to give you cluttered results. And we also don't want to go the route towards, okay, it's a pure drawing program, because there are others out there that just do that job better. If you want to have a drawing program where you have full control over everything, there are multiple options out there that probably then suit your needs better. And yeah, that is kind of the internal dialogue and discussion that we have. Can we make it smart so that it fits most of the cases, right? Not all of them, but really the majority of cases. And that if we come to the conclusion that we are not able to do this, then we rather not do kind of in-between compromises for some of those things.
Okay. But also, what I wanted to say is that if you have any ideas or requests, you can always send us a feature request, right? I put you here the link at magicplan.canny.io/feature-requests. You can see it up here. So you can always add anything there, because how many features we released based on the feedback, right?
Sure, but some we don't.
Andreas wants to destroy all the hopes before Christmas.
No, not at all. Not at all. I just don't want to have too many disappointed faces at Christmas.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay, guys, do you have any other questions? Because this is the very last webinar or live video that we're gonna have this year. Then we will start again in 2025. But do we have any other curiosities or doubts? But for now, I see that everyone seems to be happy. Okay, perfect. Andreas, thank you so much. Then we're done with our live session.
Concluding session for 2024.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Sylvia, for hosting this. Thank you, Fernando, for supporting us behind the camera or at the back screen. Enjoy and see you again next year. Bye-bye.
Yes, so based on the time zone where you are, as we always say, have a beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening. Bye.
Bye-bye.